let's get it rolling. What is going on outside my window? Oh, there's like a... Okay. Oh, it is so cold today. It was 60 degrees yesterday. Now it's 20 degrees. It would be great if the weather wasn't changing like that. Give me a second, just throwing a glove on here. So yesterday, I didn't share the stream anywhere, but I was just airbrushing, doing pretty much all the base work on the mechs before we got started today, so you can see what we were actually doing yesterday. So just did all of the base coating in silver through the airbrush. Well, primed them first, did that, then applied a wash through the airbrush, dry brushed it, and then applied some black line work, or not line work, but a line wash on top. So looks like a what? Looks like a what? What did you say? Looks like a snow mountain. I'm confused. I'm confused by your comment, Carol. I don't know what you mean. Alright, so we're going to go through this pretty quickly. For this faction, I always use Gory Red as a base color by Vallejo Game Colors, so we're just going to start knocking it out. We'll see if we can do all 7 factions today. At least their base colors. It's an achievable goal. Not the hardest thing on the planet to do. Alright. I also have my reference image up so I can copy the paint job that I always do here. Do I do the side as well? Yes, okay. Let's get it cracking. Hope everybody's had a great week so far. I know I've had a busy week. I'm gonna have a really busy weekend. Why can't I see that? Is it just the shadow? No. I hit record? Yes, I did. As always, if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the chat. I always can't remember what I painted on the backside. I think it was this right here. Couldn't tell if the light bar that's in front of me was smelling like burning plastic. It's not, so I'm just going insane, but I have a light bar. I have all kinds of lights surrounding me, but I have this giant LED bank right underneath my nose. So I get that full 360 lighting while I'm working. Because I've got lights to the left of the minis, to the right of the minis, behind the minis, and in front of the minis. So we got them all over. Helps whenever it's darker, like outside today it's completely cloudy. Raining all night last night. So I don't have any good lighting coming through the windows, so it's important to make sure that you've got good lights. Otherwise, it helps with eye strain. And since I do paint so many hours a day, you always want to make sure your eyes are good. Yep, lonely robots. Just cover that. I know I've got the camera a bit closer today as well, but I think that's fine. I think it should be in focus for you. If it's your first time seeing my streams or anything like that, feel free to like the page. I know we're almost to 1,000. We got to 900 earlier. Whenever we hit 1,000, I'll do some type of really cool giveaway. I have a couple ideas rolling around the back of my head as to what we can do. So I don't take care of my brushes at all, Damien, to answer your question. I buy them in bulk and throw them away as soon as they go bad. I normally get like about 4 or 5 days worth of painting, so probably like 20 hours of painting out of each brush. I do have nicer brushes, but for me it just doesn't make sense to try and spend the time to maintain brushes with the volume of painting that I do. I do use synthetic sable size 00 for everything that I do. Very rarely will you see me use something else. I do use larger brushes for dry brushing whenever that is applicable, but part of the speed is that I just always use the same size brush, so that way I have a lot of muscle memory when it comes to using it, and I can just kind of unconsciously do a bunch of work just because I know how the brush works so well. Splotched a little bit there, that's alright. Yeah, so the only thing I've done so far today is just exactly what you're looking at. Put on some red paint. All of these miniatures are at the same step. So now they just need their faction colors applied, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And this is for my tabletop level, which I normally always recommend for the miniatures from Scythe. You can make the mechs look a little bit better, but since some people have the lower detail heroes, and then some people have the better detail heroes, and some people don't even realize there's a difference, I usually just recommend my lowest tier of paint job. But so pretty much just doing easy techniques, applying a wash, and then re-highlighting back up to the base colors. And that's all it is. This is the last one? Yep. Alright, so this is the last one. And then we'll move on to our next faction, and then we'll do the washes on everybody and everything like that whenever we get to that point. Trying to streamline my Scythe process a little bit. Really, the only sort of annoying thing to paint out of Scythe commissions are the airships. And I've talked about it before, but it's really just because they don't have a base or anything to hold on to. So you're having to paint literally like the top and the bottom, and you have to do them in stages because you can't just put the paint on in one go. But otherwise, pretty easy. I used to think that the tiger was the hardest, because it's not often you paint Siberian tigers, but after probably my 6th Scythe commission of having to paint that tiger, it's now not difficult. It's actually pretty easy. So really just the airships take a while, at least just in terms of the steps that I normally paint in. If you'd ever need anything commissioned as well, right now I'm running a 12% off special on all orders until Sunday. So if you would like a quote or anything like that, hit that get a quote button. You can also see my pricing at minipainting.studio/pricing to give you an idea kind of what you're looking at. Alright, so these guys are done. Put them down. Sorry, Anthony, that is something that I do not give any information out on, for obvious reasons. Alright, so the easiest thing we can do here next would just be the black. It's always simple. We just do the Vallejo Game Color Black Wash, wherever that is. I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Oh, you're not what I need. That's what I need. There we go. So these are the easiest faction to paint. Since we just apply this wash directly on top, and then it leaves, it'll leave like the highlighted portions still silver, just obviously muted down. You can get a similar effect with really thinned down black acrylic, but since this ink is available and it's a good ink, I always like to use it. Really strong pigment. So you can see the way that it's drying a little bit on top there. You can still get the edges shining through. Yeah, so Moira, I stream Monday through Friday. I'm a full-time commission painter, so usually I'm always on at 2 p.m. CST. Tomorrow, unfortunately, I won't be streaming because tomorrow is my birthday, so I will be frantically preparing my small apartment for a unexpectedly large amount of people that are going to be showing up for a party later that evening. I also do a Patreon where I do different lessons. There's a private Facebook group, raffles, things like that. So that's patreon.com/minipaintingstudio. You can always check that out too if you're interested. But I do this pretty much every day unless something else is going on. Like yesterday I didn't really advertise the stream and it was really short, but it was because I was airbrushing a bunch of stuff and it would have been boring. Because I don't like to run the microphone while I'm airbrushing, obviously because it's loud. But definitely like the page. You'll be able to see everything else I've been working on. I do re-upload videos to YouTube in 1080p as well. Usually once a week. I've been trying to do it at the beginning of the year this year, kind of like every other day. It just takes a long time to upload the videos because they're so big. So you can check my stuff out there. I'm pretty sure if you just search Mini Painting Studio, I pop up. So a little bit better detail, but Facebook supposedly is going to allow us to do 1080p streaming at some point this year as well, early on in the year. So whenever that happens, I don't know if I'll keep uploading to YouTube. I might. I mean, Facebook doesn't have a limit to like the number of videos it'll hold for me. So either way, though, I keep a copy of everything. I mean, whatever works best, we'll keep using. But because I know 720p isn't the best. Thank you. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be freaking out, mostly not because of the size of the party, which more people RSVP'd than I expected, but really just because I won't be able to work. And anytime I have deadlines coming up and I can't work, I'm always like, I hate it. I'm hoping to have 4 commissions going out on Tuesday. I was planning on Monday of next week, but it's MLK, so the post office is closed. Should be able to have I'm pretty confident I'll have 4 of them going out Monday, then I'll have another one going out sometime next week, and then you'll see me working on Kingdom Death and a large Age of Sigmar commission as well. All kinds of good stuff going on. And right now on my turnaround for commissions, if you're interested in getting anything painted, you're looking at like mid-February if you order anytime soon. So not too bad. My normal turnaround time is 15 business days for most things. Right now it's probably at like 20. Around Christmas it was 30. So we're getting back into the swing of it. Alright, so we have one more. Oh, it looks like the wash was a little too thin on the top. I have noticed sometimes this wash has like a weird consistency. So if this kills our edges, I might go back over. I usually go back over the edges anyway with a really light gray. Alright, so last little base color on the little black mechs here. Let's see, 2 factions in 25 minutes, not too bad. Obviously they're not done, but...
What are you gonna do when hip-hop goes out?
Hip-hop is an attitude.
If I'm able to keep moving, I can usually do all of these miniatures in about 4 hours or so. And 2 of those hours is usually like the actual prep. So priming them all, doing the base silver, doing the washes, dry brushing, bringing it back up, and then doing what we're doing now. And then the last 2 hours are all the details. Which really, those details are just highlighting back up to the base color, and then you're done. At least for a tabletop level commission. I mean, I could probably push the mechs to the heroic level, so like my secondary tier that I do, so additional highlighting. But I just recommend getting them painted the easy lowest tier that I offer. So I've never had anyone ask for anything higher. They just usually just take my recommendation, but could do that, but I'm not sure how that would affect it. I'm guessing it would probably increase the total time by about 1/3. As long as I'm able to work in bulk. Sorry, checking outside. I have no idea about anything about World of Darkness, so sorry. No idea about that game whatsoever. Even though I assume there would be a Facebook group you could join and ask. There's a Facebook group for like every game out there. Maybe not though. Like I said, I don't know anything about that game, so maybe not, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Tyler. I hope you're having a great day, man. I'm glad you took the time to click on the stream to tell me it's boring. Thank you for that feedback. I'll make sure to figure out a way to make it exciting just for you. Because you're the only person I care about today, Tyler. Alright, so now we're going to move on. We can do the purple, maybe. Yeah, we'll do the purple. So, this color is Blue Violet from Vallejo Model Color. It looks a lot lighter than it actually dries. Actually, you can see right here on the cap, it dries a little bit darker than when it looks when it's wet, so I like to use it for a base purple to put a wash on top of. Works really well. Let me actually get it up so I can see. There we go. I can't remember if this client did basing or not. I'm gonna have to look. I don't think they did, so they're just gonna have standard basing on there. Oh, there we go. It's always good. Let's just spill paint all over there, huh? Don't think I can get to it fast enough to just wipe it off. Let's see. Maybe. Maybe. Did we get it off? No. Maybe. I'll just have to wash it or repaint that section. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like I'll just throw a wash over it. No one will be able to tell that we butterfingered the purple right there. That'll be alright. That is the one thing about Vallejo. It is pretty difficult to... Some paints you can get off immediately if you accidentally get it somewhere it shouldn't be. But Vallejo's, once you put it on a mini, like, it's gonna be on there, so... And I even thin my paints down a little bit, even then. It's gonna be on there. So again, right now we're just doing the base colors for the factions on these mechs from Scythe. Once they all get past this stage, and we're just doing them assembly line style, so I'm not like completing the miniatures as we keep going. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see how far we get. We're 30 minutes in. I normally stream for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe maximum, just for my own sanity for whenever I go back and edit videos for the Patreon and stuff like that. If you go back though and look at the page under the videos, I mean there's over 60 unfortunately to go through, but I do title them based upon whatever game we're working on, so you'll be able to see I've done a lot of Scythe, so you'll be able to see them in different stages. I believe there was one commission where I did them where I like actually showed completing one faction like start to finish. I can't recall though. I've done so many. Usually, my rule for a stream is to only work on stuff that I can finish, start to finish. But since really my workload's kind of cramped because tomorrow I'm going to be so busy, I'm just having to paint like how I normally paint off stream, which is just assembly line style, do them all in the same stages, and push them all through once they're done. So a little bit different of a workflow today, but normally I like to be able to start something and finish it within that hour and a half. If that makes sense. Because yeah, right now I have like 7 commissions I'm working on, but obviously they're all going to be in different stages and different, you know, stuff like that. So it's hard to kind of show them all start to finish, obviously, since I only stream once a day. So I mean, I've never even played the game Scythe, so that'll tell you how much I know about the game itself. But it's definitely oddly turned into a game that I get a lot of commissions for. I'm also, Jamie, the guy that made Scythe, put me on their official website under, I believe, like third-party resources and stuff like that, so I get a lot of quotes off of that website. And then just all the lovely people in different board game groups and things like that, so. But I know Scythe is one of those games, like, the people that enjoy it really enjoy it. So they like to go all out, getting stuff painted, buying all the expansions and all the bling and, like, every single thing you could possibly get for the game Scythe. I know people go for, so. But yeah, I'm at the point now to where I get so many Scythe commissions, I don't even take pictures. Like, I took pictures of the first Wind Gamut commission I did. But now whenever I finish them, I don't take pictures anymore, because it's just like, how many times should I take pictures of the exact same paint jobs, you know? But yeah, I've probably done close to 10. When I finish these, it'll put me over. I would have done, like, I don't know, 15 by the time I finish the ones that I have right now currently. And then I have another person right now doing a quote for Scythe, so definitely a staple item. Thanks, Eric. Scott, this is the game Scythe. Kind of like dystopian 1920 stuff. Yeah, Zombicide's great if you're a new painter, just because you can do a lot of washes, dry brushing, a lot of really easy techniques to make all the zombies look good. And then, by the time you've painted all those zombies, you should be ready to go for the heroes. Even though they're pretty simple, too, with the base Zombicide. I like Zombicide Black Plague. I know I've painted a lot of the heroes for that. Painted a lot of Massive Darkness stuff. I have my own copy of Massive Darkness that I haven't been able to touch. I did start airbrushing a little bit this guy, but that was more just practice. You can imagine, since I do this all day, I rarely have time to paint my own stuff. I know I have to have an army painted by July for Warhammer. For a little vacation in Dallas I'm going to go do, so I will have to paint quite a bit of stuff for that, but I have an airbrush, so I mean I can just cheat a little bit. Well, I've been painting for like 17 years, Scott, so when you paint that long, you just get fast. But some people also aren't fast. I mean, it just depends on the kind of painter you are. Some people are really meticulous. I've just kind of always aimed for speed, and that's one of the reasons why I can do it for a living. Because it doesn't take me forever. I can charge prices that balance out to an hourly rate, that type of deal. Interestingly enough, I actually lose money sometimes on my higher quality commissions, like my display level stuff, only because I really want to get, like, I usually over deliver. If you look at my pricing page on my website, I give a description of everything that I'll do for you at each tier, but I always go over that in little areas, and that's kind of one of the things that I always wanted to be able to do for people, is sort of surprise them, especially if they're familiar with painting at all. They'll understand that they're getting a little bit more than they actually paid for. So when it comes to my display level jobs, it's always kind of like I may lose a little bit of money in terms of how much time I spend on certain stuff, but I would rather over deliver for clients than, you know, try and just skirt by as fast as I can. Because there are plenty of painting studios that, and there's nothing wrong with it because they're running businesses and I know how it goes, but there are plenty of studios that'll just be like, this is what you get, and like that's all they ever do, you know. They don't go above or beyond any of the stuff that they are doing. Alright, so that's all the purple. What should we move on to? We can do the green. So I use all the paints that you see the logos for at the bottom of the screen. So I use Reaper, Delta, War Colors, Army Painter, Vallejo, and Citadel. The only brand I don't use are like Scale Color and P3. No real reason. I just literally own hundreds of paints, so the newest brand that I've expanded to is War Colors, but that's mostly for higher quality painting. That's just the nature of their paints as well. They're like a gel-based pigment, so it's not like the best paint for easy coverage. They do make a one-coat paint that's pretty badass, but I only own the metallics, not the standard paints that they make. But it's also, he doesn't have as many colors in that paint range, so if he expands those colors, I'll for sure buy them, because they're actually really badass paints, but Let's see, 45 minutes. We've made a lot of good progress. Actually, really good progress. If the math in my head is correct, but I'm bad at math, so we'll just pretend we're doing really well. Give me 1 second here. Wow, 86 people watching. Hello, hello. If it's your first time watching my streams or anything like that, feel free to like the page. You'll be able to see all the cool stuff that I work on. Also, if it's your first time watching, feel free to drop in the chat where you're watching from. I always like to find out where people are from whenever they're hanging out and I'm painting. I always appreciate it. If you yourself are a painter or you're ever interested in learning to paint or anything like that, I do run a Patreon for painters as well, so I kind of cater to both sides, painters and people that don't want to paint and just want to get their stuff painted. So give that a little look. Patreon.com/minipaintingstudio. And I'll do one final plug here since I know I have almost 100 people watching. I'm sorry, but, you know, business is business. If you ever need anything painted, any games, miniatures, things like that, I am running a 12% off special because my birthday is tomorrow on the 12th, so I'm going to run that through Sunday. So through the 14th, you can get 12% off any order. No minimum. You can see my pricing and the different tiers of quality that I offer at minipainting.studio/pricing. Or you can just send me a quote request on the Facebook page directly. And if none of that sounds cool to you, like our dude Tyler that was in the chat saying that this was boring, I'm sorry. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you being here anyway. I hope you're having a great week. And since I know I won't be here tomorrow, I hope you have an awesome weekend as well. I hope you find $20 in your pocket, you win the lottery, something awesome happens to you. But beyond that, I normally stream Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. CST. I did run a poll on the Facebook page to see if I should change that time slot, and it got the most votes to say just keep it, so unless I hear a lot of, you know, input on changing when I'm actually painting, I'll just keep it the same. And if you have any questions, anything like that, drop them in the chat, and I'll try and help you out. Gotten pretty decent at multitasking, talking and painting. We need some more paint out here. Oh, it looks like my comments are messed up. Oh, dang. All right, sorry. Let me scroll down. What's up, Erica in North Dakota? Hope you're not frozen solid. What's up, Mike? What's up, Eric? Got a lot of people up in the north today. Yeah, I'm in Oklahoma, and it was 60 degrees yesterday. It's now 20 degrees outside. It's gonna get down in the teens tomorrow. We just had some weird weather here. I mean, normally we have like a typical winter where it gets cold, it's in the 30s, whatever, we get snow. This year, we haven't had any kind of precipitation, and it's jumped down to like, it was like -6, -12 over New Year's. I don't know, man. Between the tornadoes, the earthquakes, and the freezing temperatures, I don't know why I still live here, but my rent is cheap, so there's your answer. And my family's here, so that always counts, but feel free to like the page as well. I'm pretty sure whenever we hit 1,000, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, if I was going to give away like a crazy painted miniature or what. The last time I did a giveaway, it was a free commission up to 10 miniatures, and I think what I'll do this time is a free commission up to, let's say 20. I'll do a free commission for 20 miniatures, so you're looking at like a $200 value, if not more. The winner will have to pay for shipping, but beyond that, I think that's what we'll give away. Maybe I'll also throw in, I don't know, maybe I'll do multiple things, but whenever the page hits 1,000 likes, we'll definitely go and do that. And you'll be able to If not get an entire one of your favorite games painted, you can at least get things like some heroes or leaders, things like that. Turnaround time should be about a month. Even if it's free, I'll still make sure you get it relatively quickly. But I think that's what we're going to start plugging for the 1,000 like giveaway. What's interesting too, I started this full time about a year ago, and Facebook, you know how they do that time jump or time hop feature where they're like, a year ago today. And they recently showed me the first live stream I did before I had any kind of nice setup or nice cameras, and it was so funny to see. You can also find me on YouTube. I re-upload all the videos in 1080p with better quality, so feel free to check out YouTube. All you gotta do is get on YouTube and type in Mini Painting Studio, and you'll see that I have a weird backlog on there. I don't have all the videos, because for a while Facebook wouldn't let you download your videos again in HD, and so I just had to start physically recording them while I was streaming. But now we got all the kinks worked out. We're pretty much a well-oiled machine here. The only issues we ever have, Facebook Live, the chat sometimes stops updating, which is what's happening right now, I know for a fact. So if you've asked me any questions, said hello, or like our favorite person, Tyler, who was in the chat and said that it was boring, and yeah, I'm going to keep bringing him up all day because I'm super petty. I haven't seen your comment yet, so just hang out. I have to manually refresh the chat, sadly. Alright, so we're going to be finished with this faction as well in, what, 50 minutes? We've done 5 factions, about 10 a minute, so like 2 minutes per miniature. That's pretty good. Pretty good timing. I figured it would take about 2 hours from where we were for me to finish everything up completely, and that's true. Now, the only thing that we will have to do, I'm saying we because we're in this together, however, what I'm actually saying is, what I will have to do that will kind of waste time is whenever we apply all the washes to the miniatures. So like the green miniatures get a green wash, and then I do them first because then I let that dry as I apply Army Painter Strong Tone to a bunch of other minis, and then I apply the Strong Tone to the green after it's dry, and then we highlight everything back up. So drying time, I do have a fan set up in like a little drying booth next to the airbrush booth that I have set up as well. I don't have the lights turned on, but we do have a booth cam because we're professional over here. Booth cam, you can see it's really dark right now, but I don't have a drying booth cam. I'm not gonna get that weird, but if I get enough requests, you guys already watch paint dry, so let's do blue. Blue is always easy peasy. It's a good coverage color. The pigment is always really solid. Alright, let's update this. Tyler was right. Basil Greenleaf, you're not even a real person. That's a fake name, so right on, dude. And if it's not, man, your parents are super awesome. So, thanks for spending the time today to say something negative on someone's page. I'm sure you're a really well-adjusted human being. And if you're not, then I'm sorry, man. Like, I hate to put you on the spot like that, but maybe you should consider your life before being mean to other people, you know? But what do I know? Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Drew. So it looks like I have actually... Oh, no, I have not. It's right here. I was about to say, I don't know where the blue paint is that I always use for him. Alright, so I always thin down the paint a little bit. Army Painter paints, depending on the pigment, usually are pretty nice. Go wash my hands? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, Keith. My hands are actually looking pretty good right now. other than the paint right there. Alright. Just double checking what exactly I paint on these guys. Bottom of the feet, around the rim. Alright, that's easy. Usually I'm used to sort of prepping them for basing, so I do like an earth texture, apply grass or snow or whatever the faction calls for, but this client didn't go for that, so we're just going to paint the base black and then do a colored rim around the edge for every faction. Thanks, David. Yeah, I thought your Drew, your comment was pretty funny. My voice is soothing. I've been told I have a face built for radio, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. Just hitting the back here that no one's gonna see. But since I only cut so many corners, I'm gonna make sure I at least paint the back of that blue, since the front is painted blue as well. Having this light bar right in front of my nose right now is kind of weird. How much is that going to affect it? Not much. We'll leave it on. But it's starting to get hot. So like literally the front of my nose right here is just kind of about 10 degrees warmer than the rest of my body. Normally I don't have it set this close, but usually it's like right here. And I don't want the light bar just like literally in front of my eyes, so got it a little bit closer today. So for everybody watching, what is anyone else working on? Anybody working on painting some stuff? Currently, have anything on the bench, so to speak? Or if you're not a painter, what games have you been playing recently? I know this weekend at my party, we're definitely going to be playing a bunch of games. Not sure what we're going to be doing though. I know there's going to be some Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, at least, is going to get played. That was, interestingly enough, that's also the last game that I've played. Can't remember if I leave the top. I can't see from any of my pictures. Okay, well we're gonna paint the entire top here. Then we're gonna leave this part right here, the like hatch on the top. We'll leave that silver. For the most part, all of my paint jobs come out exactly the same, unless it's a situation like this where I literally can't see on my photos. Now I'll remember, since I had to sit here and be like, did I leave it painted or not? But sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I painted that. My last Scythe commission I mailed out on the 26th of last month, so that'll tell you kind of the frequency that I do them, but I definitely don't remember if I painted the top, so we're just going to leave it undone today. I think it makes sense either way, but whenever I paint the Scythe stuff, I always like to do it sort of as if, like, they've all been constructed and then painted afterwards. I don't necessarily know if it makes sense to, like, paint them all solid blue, you know? Like, I don't know if all of those pieces would be solid blue on a giant robot, because that just kind of seems weird, at least in my opinion. But everyone's free to paint them how they want, obviously. Painting is always rewarding. If you've never tried to paint anything before, I always suggest giving it a shot as well. Especially nowadays, with all the different tutorials out there, you can just hop on YouTube. Half the time you can search like directly the miniature you're wanting to paint. You can find a tutorial video. A lot of companies have starter kits now as well. Give you everything you need, all the basic colors and some brushes. There are also really cheap miniatures available to practice on. I know WizKids makes a really good line of pre-primed miniatures, so you don't even have to worry about priming. Reaper has Reaper Bones, and there are hundreds of those to choose from. They're like $1.99 each, so you can literally barely spend any cash and practice before you paint whatever it is you really wanted to paint. Because I will say, if you just jump in painting like whatever it is you've been wanting to paint and you start messing it up, it'll just discourage you. Or maybe not, because then you get to learn how to strip miniatures, which is also a part of the deal. This one takes a little bit longer on the top, at least, just because there are those weird angles to go in. Whenever I have to base these are the worst. Because essentially you're having to put the paste underneath in between all these legs, and like I use like a little modeling spatula. And oh my god, is it annoying. And then like you get it on the backs of the legs or the side of the legs accidentally, and you have to go clean it off, and it's a hassle. It looks great when it's done, but it is a hassle while you're doing it. Now, if I was doing the stuff where, because I actually have, like, I make a texture paste that I put on, but if you were just doing glue and then, like, putting sand on there or whatever, there are all kinds of different methods. That's obviously way easier. But I just like the effect that the modeling paste plus texture gives you. I think it looks nice. This is another one of those factions that doesn't just get the all-over kind of brown strong tone wash from Army Painter. This one actually gets a blue wash, and it helps deepen out all those colors really well. By that I mean the actual blue that we're painting is where we apply the wash. For those of you that don't sort of know the technical wording, so a wash is just a ink that has colored pigment in it of some sort. Whenever you put it on the miniature, that's how you get really nice shading. You don't always have to wash. There are different techniques as well. There's dry brushing, you can do glazing, layering. That stuff I usually reserve for higher level paint jobs, just because it takes a lot longer than dumping wash all over something. But the result of a wash always looks badass, so. If you go back and look at the Imperial Assault miniatures, so where's an example? Like this Deuterino right here. All of the shading and detail that we got on him is all from just applying one color of a wash instead of multiple colors. You just let gravity do the work and you let it dry, and you're left with nice shading. Then obviously you can go back, highlight up, you can dry brush on top, you can do all kinds of stuff from there, but for tabletop stuff I usually just apply one wash and then reapply base colors to make it look like there's a nice shadow going on. Good contrast. So what we're working on right now is the step before that, where we're just getting the base colors on there. Trying to go fast. These guys take a little bit longer. Let's see, yeah, it's been like 10 minutes on these already. How many do we have left? One after this? That's not bad. So really these took like 5 minutes extra total. That's not too bad. What am I missing here? Give me 1 second. It appears there have been massages sent to the page, so 1 second. Okay, it's all good. What am I missing? Oh, double audio. Give me one. What have I missed? God, Facebook, why? Okay, see, I knew this was happening. I'm only getting like a third of the comments, so give me 1 second here. So I can see what's going on. Ever do an X-Wing commission? Eric asked. I've done Armada. I know X-Wing stuff is already painted, but... and also I have literally no idea whenever you ask that question, sorry. In the process of assembling KDM. Yeah, so I'll be doing that soon. I have a display level KDM commission, so all those are going to be painted up very nicely. All of it's also going to be using non-metallic metal, which is a pretty advanced technique. Oh, look at that. We're having double audio. Let me kill that. All right. Sorry. I'm trying to get caught up on all of these. Okay, Brody. Warhammer pieces on your table. That's what's awesome. Hello in Minnesota. Painting two guys from Gloomhaven. Oh, I forgot to mention I have another Gloomhaven commission that I'm finishing. So that's cool. No, I've had like 200 people on the stream before. Anytime I work on Warhammer or Warhammer 40k stuff, it's always like, you know, way better. Let's see. We have more lame people. That's cool. I bet your life is really fulfilling. Watching from Monterrey, Mexico. What's up, David? Only doing the feed on one of them? Did I miss the feed on somebody? No? See, if it was actually up to date, that'd be cool. Okay, now we're back up. Now we're back up to date, right? Okay, cool. Alright. And then what's funny is on my main page here, it may update it. Yeah. Okay, so now it's updated. Now I can see your comments. It's so stupid how it'll do that. These are painted. I just haven't done it on this guy yet. And of course, while I did that, that paint dried on the palette, so that's always cool. Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to painting Kingdom Death. Obviously, those miniatures are super cool. The hero miniatures, not so much. I mean, they look okay, right? But they're not, like, the impressive part about that game. It's the creepy monsters that are the really cool part there. Obviously, the big bird creature is awesome. The Butcher's a pretty cool model. The Kingsman, I believe is the name of it's another cool one. The Antelope deal is okay. I mean, it's going to be cool to paint, but I'm not, like, blown away by that one. Trying to think what else there is. There's oh yeah, the big lion. That's a cool mini. There's the guy with the lanterns. That one will be cool. I get to do some source lighting on that, so that'll look really neat. Using the airbrush, it'll look like all those lanterns are glowing. And yeah. And then there's just like a ton of survivors, so... The client for that one's a really nice guy. He actually sent I literally think it was like a 56-page PDF or something, like detailing every single way he wants every piece of equipment applied, which is, for a game like that, it totally makes sense. It's kind of like when you get a big Warhammer commission and they're like, okay, I want this unit to have this, I want, you know, these guys to have these weapons, whatever. And then he also included a lot of artwork of stuff he was looking for, and stuff he didn't want, so... He definitely went above and beyond. Usually, like, if I'm doing a Scythe commission, for example, I'm literally going to paint it the exact same way that I've always painted it when it comes to the mechs and stuff, which really is just sort of up to my imagination as to the colors, or like the color placement. But when it comes to the heroes, I normally just copy whatever their artwork looks like, if there's artwork available for a game. So... in terms of Kingdom Death, that is going to be fun just because I'll get, you know, like total freedom, so to speak, to an extent as to how they're going to end up looking. Yeah, again, sorry if, well, not if I missed some of your comments. I clearly did, because Facebook decided just not to update the chat anymore on the preview window for me. So my apologies if I left you hanging. Don't want to leave you hanging. I always appreciate people hanging out and talking. What's interesting, too, are the ones that they flag as spam. Those are really funny. Sometimes they are spam. Other times they're legitimate questions, and they just literally will never show me those. So I don't know why it'll do that, but... the algorithm just decides it hates certain people, I guess. Thanks, Facebook. I'm actually wanting to do the stream longer today because of all the work I have to do to get ready for the party tomorrow. I'm like literally dreading preparing my apartment for as many people as they say they're coming. Last year, for whatever reason, I didn't have, well, there is a reason, we're not going to get into it, but I didn't have a birthday party. And people were like, why didn't you have a birthday party? What the hell? So now this year, oh my god, man. It's going to be like a bunch of sardines. Standing room only. But it'll be exciting. I know I'm going to have two tables set up for gaming. I'm going to have the Cintiq turned on so people can mess around with that. And then at the end of the night we'll have like a digital art piece that everybody worked on, so it'll be pretty cool. I know I did a stream recently where I was doing some digital illustration. A lot of people didn't know I do that, but that's also another thing that I do and take commissions for, so I have all kinds of equipment for it. But I used to do graphic design and UX work and UI work full-time, so that's why I have that stuff. Alright, so all of those are done. We only have 2 factions left. And both of them are sort of... whoop, bumping that around. Both of them are sort of a pain. The yellow is like always a pain. Facebook is showing me that there are new comments, but it's not showing me the new comments. Give me 1 second, I'll hop over and see if I can even see them here. I hate you, Facebook. You're the best. You're the best. You're the worst. Let me see if it'll show me. Give me a second. I'll address your needs like a good friend. Looks like I did miss Chris's comment. I'm not sure if like someone I don't know if someone shared this to a group where like miniature painting isn't a thing, but somebody is like wondering what's going on. So here's a abridged version of what you're looking at. So I am a full-time commission painter, meaning I paint toys for people. Let me, I say toys, I don't want to piss people off. I paint miniatures for different games, things like that. So it's something I've done for a while. The business has been going for a year now. So I stream Monday through Friday, every single day if I can, at 2 p.m. CST, where you can watch me work on my different commissions. So if you're unfamiliar with miniatures at all, for example, this type of miniature comes unassembled. You have to assemble it, prime it, paint it, put it on a base, do all that stuff. With a game like Scythe, it's a board game, so you can see they normally come all one color. So like these are all yellow to start with, and then I do a quick job priming them, painting them silver, putting washes on them to give them this kind of like antique, rusty, gross looking feel. Then dry brush them back up, which is wiping the majority of the silver paint off the paintbrush and then bringing back those details. And then once that is done, what we're doing today is then painting the faction colors. So like this faction is red, so we're painting certain portions red that I can then go back into, put shadows on, and then highlight back up. So that is an abridged version. If for whatever reason the weird part of Facebook has now gone to like the normal part of Facebook, because I think somebody shared this just out and about into the world. So that's what's happening here. If you are completely unfamiliar with what's going on. Hopefully that was a decent little 5-second, obviously longer than 5-second explanation. I'm just moving this stuff out of my way, because now I have all these half-painted mechs. So now we're going to work on the white, which is really the gray, the way that I do them. I normally take a break every hour, but I think we're just going to go straight through to an hour and 30, and then we'll kill it. But if it's your first time seeing any of my stuff, seeing my work, feel free to like the page. Always appreciate it. You can always see the stuff that I'm working on every day. See, we've gotten quite a few extra likes today. That's pretty cool. Because my life is dependent upon how many likes my page has. Let me tell you. One second, I need to check my phone. I heard it go off. Oh yeah, it was a YouTube. So yeah, I do also have, oh, it's another YouTube. Okay, so I do have a YouTube page where I re-upload stuff in higher resolution. So just go on YouTube if you're interested in that. You can watch all the videos in 1080p. Oh, more stuff. More stuff. I just saw that email. Okay. So now what we're gonna do, even though this faction is white, oh my god, we're going to, all kinds of stuff's going on here. So even though this faction is white, as you can tell, or actually this is just dirty, but what I'm going to do is actually base them, not base them, but do their base color in this deep taupe, so it's like a warm gray. And that way we can go back over it with a wash and then highlight it up. Painting white is usually done best with actually doing a base color of white. And since I like to do everything in batches, I'm not just going to base or like prime these in white. Since I do everything in silver first for this game anyway. So it saves me a tiny little percentage of time. So an easy workaround when doing white is to start with a gray first. Or, like I'm doing with these, doing higher contrast. Oh yeah, I forgot to do the barrels right here. Doing higher contrast. So what that means is we'll do the gray, and then I'll do like a brown wash on it, and then do the edges in a super, I don't actually see it in front of me. It's around me somewhere, but it's a really light gray color that actually looks almost baby blue. But whenever you juxtapose it next to a sort of warmer brown tone color, it looks white. So it's a very easy way to paint white, make the illusion of white. Something that I always like to tell people that are new at painting. Painting isn't an exact science if you're just trying to get it on the table to look good. It's more illustrative than it is, like a still life. So a lot of the times you can just kind of figure out colors or contrast options that look convincing, and that's always something that's easy for you to do to make your paint jobs look good. And that way you're not stressing yourself like, oh, this doesn't look 100% realistic. Well, first of all, you're painting a miniature robot, so you really shouldn't be worried about that in the first place. You should just be enjoying yourself. But as long as the highlights you're doing make sense, the shadows make sense, you're doing fine. And then we just do the top of its little backpack here. And that's it. So those are all the sections that are going to get highlighted up to white. And we're actually doing good. I figured this would take 2 hours, and it's only at 1 hour and 20, so time-wise, we're cranking right at the speed that I aim for. And I already saved a lot of time since this was the first time I could actually use the airbrush on a Scythe commission, which was totally badass. In 2 hours, 2 hours including drying time, so really not 2 hours, but more like probably 1 hour and 10 minutes, I was able to do what would normally take me like 3 or 4 hours by hand. So that definitely helped. That increases my bottom dollar, so always a good thing. I'm kind of concerned because it's raining outside, but it's also 27 degrees. And I needed to go run an errand today, but that also means there's going to be ice all over the streets. My tires aren't brand new, but I also just hate driving on ice because other people are usually morons, so a little concerned for my well-being because I needed to go get party supplies, as in booze and nacho material. A little concerned about that. I also think, for those of you that have watched the streams before and know who Arthur is, he's out of dinner. So he's going to be a very upset person if I don't have that dinner ready. So I definitely have to leave to go get him some food. And he's literally sitting behind me, staring at me right now, so for those of you that don't know, I have a child-sized cat. He's gigantic. Big old boy. Alright, let me refresh all my goodies here, make sure I'm not losing anything on you guys. Alright, as far as I can tell, gigantic. Let me mute myself as I try and update this. Alright, yeah, as far as I can tell, haven't missed any more stuff. Yeah, we're good. Cool. Cool. Alright. So we only have a little bit of time left here. Oh, of course it just says I got a comment, and it's not going to load it. That's neat. So whoever just commented, sorry about you. Sorry. I'm not able to see it. But we may as well call the stream here. Even though I'm going to be able to finish those last two in the last 6 minutes or whatever we were going to do it. I normally stream for about 1.5 hours, 2 hours a day. Just so that I can edit the videos down for my Patreon. Andrew, no, my cat is not a Maine Coon. Let me, come here, dude. Come here, bro. Oh, God. Oh, Oh, there he is. You can see his head's almost as big as mine. His name is Arthur. He thinks he's a person, of course. And he is never more than a foot away from me. But no, he's just a giant dude. I mean, look how big he is. Oh, God. And he's not fat or anything, but he weighs like 20 pounds. So he's just a giant dude. But anyway, thanks so much for hanging out today, guys. As always, feel free to like the page. I'm going to plug my stuff real quick, so if you don't care, go ahead and leave. Thanks for hanging out, though. I always appreciate you. I stream Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. CST, but I won't be here tomorrow. So I hope you have an awesome weekend. I hope you find $20. Whatever good thing may come your way, I hope it does. And I will see you guys again on Monday, probably frantically trying to finish up something I couldn't get to over the weekend. And yeah, thanks again so much. And I'll see you next time.